Good morning students, myself I am Rajshekhar. I am going to deal the subject mathematics. Okay, let us get into the topic, that is the first chapter is rational numbers. Before we start in the introduction of the rational numbers, let us revise the different types of numbers which you learnt in the previous class. So what are the different types of the numbers? So let me give the brief introduction which you learnt in the earlier classes, but not the detailed explanation about that, because from last 2 years you are learning about that just three types of different types of numbers. First, that is okay students, I have written the denotation of some different types of numbers. By observing this, you come to know that these are the which type of numbers. So let us take that. First, capital N is equal to set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on. What we call these numbers are? What we call these numbers are? They are called counting numbers. Why we call these are the counting numbers? Because in our real life we use these numbers for counting the things or the objects, and for calculation purposes we use these numbers. So such that we call these numbers are counting numbers. Such counting numbers are called the natural numbers, and we denote the natural numbers with a capital N. And where can we say that what is the greatest natural number? Is it possible to say the greatest natural number in the given collection? Is it possible to say the greatest natural number? We can't say, because it is infinite up to so on. There is no ending in the set of natural numbers. But what is the smallest natural number? 1. Okay. Then what about the next denotation? Next notation, that is capital W equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on. What we call these numbers are? These numbers are called the whole numbers. Now how you define the whole numbers? The collection of natural numbers and 0 together is called whole number, and we denote the whole numbers with capital W. But in the set of natural numbers there is no 0. To introduce the 0 in the set, the topic has introduced, that is whole numbers. In the whole numbers where the numbers begins from 0 to up to so on. Now what is the greatest whole number? Can you say the greatest whole number from this notation? No, we can't say, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on. There is no ending in the whole number, so we can't say the greatest whole number. Then but what is the smallest whole number is? 0 is the smallest whole number. Now can you represent the greatest whole number and the greatest natural number on the number line? You know that we can't represent, because we don't know the greatest whole number and the greatest natural number. For that we can't represent the greatest numbers. Then what about the smallest natural number? Can we represent? Yes. What about the smallest whole number? Can you represent? Yes. Now let us come to the other notation, that is capital I is equal to so on minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to so on. Now what we call this notation? You learned in the previous class, that is in the 7th class. What we call this notation? Integers. Now how you define the integers? The collection of positive numbers, negative numbers and 0 together is called integers, or called the integers. And otherwise one more definition also we can say for the integers. What we can say? That the collection of whole numbers from 0 to up to so on, we know that whole numbers. So the collection of whole numbers and negative numbers together are called integers, and they denote with the capital I or Z. Now this is about the just a brief introduction about natural numbers, whole numbers and integers, which you learned in the previous classes. Now why we need to learn about this? Because the rational numbers, to learn about the rational numbers, we should know about these integers. And you know that these natural numbers and whole numbers we use in the real life to for calculation purpose and for counting the objects or things. Without these numbers we can't imagine our life, you know that very well. Then what about the integers? Where we use these integers in the real life? Now if you observe clearly, up to these whole numbers we know that. Then what about these negative numbers? Where the negative numbers we use in the real life as? Examples, let me give some examples where we use these negative numbers in the real life. First one, temperature, and second one is profit and loss. You have many examples, just let me give the two examples where we are using the integers in the real life. Temperature. Sir, where we use the temperature, where we use the integers in temperature, maybe you will get that out. Example, thermometer we can say. What is the use of the thermometer? The thermometer used to measure the temperature, we know very well that. The thermometer contains above 0 and below 0. The above 0 have the positive numbers and the below 0 have the negative numbers. And where it used to measure the cold or the hot. Then what about in the profit and loss? How we use the integers in the profit and loss? For example, I invested some amount in the company or in the business. For example, 1000 rupees I invested. I invested 1000 rupees in the business. I said that I have profit 500 rupees. I have profit on the invested amount 1000 rupees. I have profit, that is 500 rupees. Now I said profit of 500 rupees. That how we denote? If I say profit, we denote with the plus. Now I have profit 500 rupees, I denote with the positive sign. What about if I said that I have loss 1500 on the invested amount 1000. Now how we denote that? How we denote that? Minus sign. Now what the minus sign says about loss and the plus sign says about the profit. But here I said that loss I have 1500, I said. I have loss 1500, I said. I denote with a negative sign. But do we have the denomination negative sign with the 1500 rupees? We don't have the denomination with the negative sign. But the negative sign says that it is have loss and the positive sign says that profit. Like that we denote for the profit and loss these signs, positive sign and negative sign. Positive sign and negative sign are used to denote the profit and loss, but we don't have the denominations negative signs with the hundreds or 200s. But just we denote the negative sign to say about the loss and the plus sign to denote the profit. And one more example let me give that. There is a sea, above the sea level the bird is flying at a height of 25 meters. Above the sea level. Let me take one example, that is, now it is a sea level and here water. I said that the bird is flying. Let me write here the bird. The bird is flying at a height of 25 meters and this is sea level is 0 meters. And above the sea level the bird is flying at a height of 25 meters and below the sea level the fish is there. Here the fish at below the height of, that is 2 meters. Now here I said above sea level and below the sea level. Above the sea level the bird is flying at a height of 25 meters, that we denote with the positive sign, and below the sea level we denote with the negative sign. It does not indicate that minus 2 meters. It says about that below the sea level but not the minus 2 meters, where the minus is used to denote the deep of the sea level. Here the fish is there in the sea, that is at the deep of 2 meters. I wrote here minus 2 meters, but minus says about the deep but not the negative 2 meters. In this case we can use. And one more example, let me say that the temperature on cold night in Simla is 6 degrees Celsius below 0. Below 0 degrees Celsius, below 0 I said. 6 degrees Celsius, the temperature on cold night in Simla was 6 degrees Celsius below 0. In Delhi was, that is 5 degrees Celsius I said. Means in Delhi 5 degrees Celsius and in Simla I said that 6 degrees Celsius below 0. When I say the below 0, I just now I said in the examples below 0 we denote with a negative sign. Now here what about here, that is minus 6 degrees Celsius and it is positive 5 degrees Celsius. So mainly the integers are used in the real life in many situations, but I took only the two examples to say that where we use the integers in measuring of the temperature and in the profit and loss. These are the few examples where we use the integers in the real life. I said at the beginning that the integers are linked up with the rational numbers. Okay, then how it is linked up with the, let us see now. Okay, now let us see the basic operation on the integers. Basic operations. What are the basic operations are there? Addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Let us perform the basic operation on the integers. Let us perform the basic operation on the integers. Add minus 2 and 7. Let us add this both integers. Minus 2 is a negative integer and 7 is a positive integer. Let us add this both integers, that is minus 2 plus 7. What is the result is, or what is the sum? Minus 2 plus 6 means we are adding 7 to the minus 2. What is the result is 5. What is 5 is an integer. So the sum of the two integers is an integer. Let us subtract 7 from, let us subtract 7 from 5. Now what is the result? Means we have to subtract 7 from 5. It's not possible to subtract because the 7 is a bigger than 5. Now how much 5 has less? 2. But that is we can say less 5, less 2, no? That we denote with a negative sign, or we can write in the form of this. 7 is the first number, 5 is the second number. We are subtracting the first number from the second number. That is 5 minus 7. What is the answer, or what is the result is 5 minus 7? Minus 2. What is minus 2 is an, which is a negative integer which is present in the collection of integers. Now when we subtract 7 from 5, the result is minus 2, where minus 2 is also an integer. Means the difference or the subtraction of the two integers is also an integer we got. Now let me take one more example on the operation multiplication. Multiply minus 5 and minus 9. What is the result is? Let us check it. Minus 5 into minus 9. Minus into minus plus 5 into 9, 45. What is the result when you multiply the two negative numbers is 45. What is 45 is an? It is a natural number, it is a whole number, it is an integer also. Now actually what we are discussing is topic integer. Now 45 is an integer or not? Yes. When you multiply the two negative integers or the two positive integers, or one negative and one positive, even though we are getting an integer, no? Okay, from this what we can conclude? Addition of two integers, subtraction of two integers, and multiplication of two integers is also an integer. Then what about the division? If you divide one integer with another integer, are we going to get the result is an integer? Are we going to get compulsory is an integer, or any other number? Let us take some examples and let us check it. Divide 9 with 4. Now let us check it. Or divide 9 by 4. Now where 9 is the dividend and 4 is the divisor. What is the result you got that? Where we know that it is a fraction. If you divide the 9 with 4, we will get a decimal number. But it remains as a fraction but not an integer, no? The result is not an integer. Now what you can conclude that division of one integer with another integer, it may be a integer or it is a fraction. Let me take one more example. Divide 16 by 4. What is the result is? 16, where is the dividend? 4 is the divisor. 4 ones, 4, 4, 16. What is the quotient you got the answer? What you got the quotient is 4. Now what is 4 is an integer. Now what you can conclude that from these examples or from the above observations, when you divide